Hello, ladies and gentlemen. One of the most exciting chess tournaments of the year. We didn't think that beforehand, but oh my gosh, it was brilliant. The FIDE Grand Swiss, it's over. We know the winners. We have four more players that have qualified to the two candidates tournaments respectively. And where else do we start? But I'm going to start with the women's section because I haven't spoken about it much, and it deserves some of the commentary. But my predictions when we did this video halfway through the tournament were correct. Vaishali Rameshbabu went back to back. She's won in 2023 and she's won in 2025. Incredible performance. She finishes 8 out of 11. She's tied for first with Katarina Lagno, but the tiebreaks meant that she won. Katarina Lagno joining her in the FIDE candidates. So they're the top two players qualify automatically, so we didn't have to worry about anybody else. In third place and fourth and fifth was a tie with 7.5 points. Asubaya, Yuxin, and Tan He, who's already qualified through the World Cup. So I don't want to say not much drama, but it was a really good performance from Vaishali. She's won this 2 times in a row, and I thought this was a really difficult tournament to win, as we'll talk about in the open section. Not for Vaishali, she's got it cracked. 8 out of 11 is fantastic. I mean, if I let me see if I pull it up. Sorry for looking over here, but I'm just checking. Tournament games completed. Vaishali games. FIDE Women's Grand Swiss. So she won against. She won the first 3 rounds against Tokiyarva, Roybers, and Baleka, drew against Wagner, drew against Katarina Lagno, defeated Fataleya, defeated Kyoki, defeated Asubaya, drew with Yuxin, defeated Anna Musachuk, and then a final round draw with Tan He. Incredible performance, really, from her. And that was the women's section. I mean, there were intense games. I mean, round 1, actually, in the women's section was incredible because, like, the 3 top seeds all lost. I think Tanjani lost on time, so great performance from her to get over that and come back from where she did. Sorry, my phone's now frozen. Take is kind of freezing there for just a second. As again, not sponsored, just using it because it's a really cool chess app. Yeah, so Vaishali wins. Katerina Lagno finishes second place. She could have also won, but tie breaks and stuff like that. I think Vaishali won because head-to-head she beat her. I think that was the main tiebreak that they used there. Absolutely incredible. Why is it breaking? Anyway, moving on to the open section where there was lots to talk about. There really, really was. So Anish Giri wins it, which we didn't call halfway through, but he was there in the chasing pack. And I said this during the halfway thing. It becomes very difficult, those final 6 rounds, because all the leaders play each other. So you're no longer just getting paired against random guys and guys lower rated than you. The top guys are playing each other. So a couple of wins or a couple of losses, you fall and you rise very, very quickly. And obviously there's lots of draws. I don't know why take is frozen. So I'm probably just going to have to, delete everything and go back in. Sorry, sidetracked. An incredible tournament the open section was. Absolutely incredible. So Parham was the early leader with Nihal Sarin. He fell away, and then Nihal and Matthias Bluebaum took over. Parham was leading, Nihal was behind him. Nihal and Matthias Bluebaum took over, and they were leading. Until like about round 9. Round 10, everything changed. Going into round 10, we had 4 leaders. Going into round 11, we had 5 leaders. Hans Niemann dramatically at rise, Anish Giri with the rise, and Vincent Keimer in the rise. So all 5 players playing for first place. Anish Giri with the only decisive victory in round 11 that netted him like a guaranteed candidate spot. So he wins the open section for the FIDE Grand Swiss. Absolutely incredible. He spoke on, it was around round 9 or round 8, where he said, if Gukesh is world champion, why can't I qualify for the candidates? Why can't I win the candidates? Why can't I become world champion if Gukesh can do it? And, I've got all this experience. I'm Anish Giri. He had a fantastic tournament, Anish. He really, really did. I don't know what's happening with this app, so I'm just going to go into chess.com. I thought take would be nice, but it's not working. In second place, which made me mad, and I don't know how all of you feel about this, was Matthias Bluebaum. He was tied with like two other guys. There was a three-way tie. I'm not happy about that because they didn't play tiebreak games. It went down to the traditional chess tiebreak system, which I'm not happy about. Yeah, so Matthias Bluebaum finishes in second place. Then it was Alireza Firouzja, and then it was Vincent Keimer. Hans Niemann finished 8th, but that's because he lost the final round. Just want to give a quick shout out. Mbaidu Mishra, 65 or 67 games now, undefeated. He went through this whole tournament undefeated. He finishes 5th on 7 points. Huge tie on 7 points, all the way up until 19th, which is Esipenko. And he wasn't obviously the only prodigy that played really well. Mbaidu Mishra finished the highest, but there was Andy Woodward, who had a really, really strong end to his round, and he finishes 7th. Arjun Erigaisi finishes 6th, so mixed tournament for him. Nihal Saurin fell down to 9th. Para Matsulu just fell off completely. He's not in the top 20. He was leading, fell off completely. Unbelievable. I was really rooting for Paham. I like him a lot. I've followed him in a couple of tournaments over the last few years. Really, really nice player. Seems like a nice guy as well. I don't know too much about him personally. I just like the way he plays chess, to be honest. Jan Nepomniachtchi had a quiet tournament. He didn't really get up anywhere near the leaders. So how does he qualify for the candidates? It's going to have to be through the World Cup. Alireza Firouzja, how does he qualify for the candidates? He's going to have to be through the World Cup. Praggnanandhaa, also a relatively quiet tournament. He did suffer 1 or 2 losses. But he's basically qualified. He's going to get through the circuit for 2025. So as long as this wasn't a complete blow-up, fine from him. He should finish top of the FIDE circuit. Gukesh finishes the tournament with 2 victories, but it was not a great tournament from the world champion. I think he finishes 6 out of 11. It was a strong start, but then 2 losses to 16-year-olds. He loses to Mbaidu Mishra, and he loses to the other Turkish prodigy. I don't want to call him the other Turkish prodigy, which sounds rude, but we focused in the early parts of the tournament particularly on Erdogmas, Ayagis Khan. But the other guy, oh my gosh, the name's just escaping me, and I can't pronounce people's names, which I feel so bad about. Okay, show all, 116 more. Yes, Erdogmas finishes 27th, and his compatriot, Idiz Gurel, finishes 55th. Where did Gukesh finish? Gukesh finishes 41st on 6, as I said. Finishes above Jan Nepomniachtchi, which is really funny. And, a lot of good players, but no one who was really, you would have thought was in candidates' contention, as I'm just scrolling down the list. Divya Deshmukh finishes 82nd, which you would say, well, that's quite low. I mean, she was like one of the bottom seeds. So she finishes 82nd. For context, she finished above Levon Aronian. Levon did not have a great tournament. He finishes 5, so on -1. So not a great tournament from Levon, maybe halting his momentum a little bit. He was one of the form players coming into this, so really, really struggled. Yeah, and there's not much else to say, really. Very interesting results. The candidates is now shaping up to be a very interesting tournament, because you've got Fabiano Caruana. You have got now Anish Giri and Matthias Bluebaum. Most likely, you will have Praggnanandhaa and Hikaru Nakamura. They've all but confirmed their candidate spots. Hikaru playing a bunch of Mickey Mouse tournaments to get the games up so that he can take the rating spot, and Prague has got a commanding lead in the FIDE circuit for 2025. So that leads us to the World Cup, the final stop for the open section. The women's section has got 7 spots filled. 7 of them are filled. If I go and get you the names, but it is, of course, Vaishali Rameshbabu and Katerina Lagno, Divya Deshmukh, Tanjan He, Hampi Konaru. Hold on, I'm finding it. Yes, here it is. Yes. Divya Deshmukh, Hampi Konaru, Tanjani, Vaishali Rameshbabu, Katerina Lagno, Zhu Jiner, and Alexandra Goryachka. So, Zhu Guinea and Alexandra Goryachka got their results from the Women's Grand Prix series. Divya Deshmukh, Hampi Konaru, Tanjani, as I did a video about, all booked their place via the Women's World Cup. And of course, Vaishali and Katerina Lagno get it through the FIDE Grand Swiss. There is one spot left, and that goes down to the FIDE Women's Events, like their circuit, for 2024-2025. I don't know who's in charge of that, so I can't give you an estimate of who's going to be in charge of that. All I know is this tournament was absolutely fantastic. The game of the tournament for me was that game from Eudokmus in round 4, where he sacked his queen. That was beautiful. And that King Hunt, Maiden 6, it was a beautiful, beautiful game. There were lots of great games. That's my game of the tournament. Tell me what yours was in the comments. This is going out on podcast, but also on YouTube. Please let me know if you enjoy this kind of video format where I'm just talking about, tournaments, previewing, reviewing, all sorts of things. Let me know if you enjoy it. If you don't, I might stop. I might not. But I've got lots of other content if you would like to check that out and enjoy it. I can't believe it's over. I really can't believe it's over. It was an amazing tournament. It really, really was. I'm looking forward to the World Cup because there are some big names that still need to qualify for the FIDE candidates, and the World Cup is not easy to win. It took Magnus Carlsen, the best player in the world, multiple attempts. Like, before he won it, he won the last edition. His best place finish was 3rd. And he'd played it like 4 or 5 times. It's not easy. So, for the likes of Alireza Firouzja, for the likes of Yadni Pomnishi, Levan Aronian, some of these top names, Arjun Erigaisi, of course, wanting to qualify, it's do or die in the World Cup. And the World Cup is not easy to win, and there are only 3 spots left. And I will recall the last edition, we did see Fabiano Caruana, who qualified again. I think that's where he took his one spot. That's where they gave him that official spot. He qualified like 4 different ways. But there was also Nejat Abbasov, who was outside the world's top 50. He took 4th place, and because Magnus didn't want to play the candidates, he got it, finishing 4th place. So it's going to be interesting. There are, of course, a couple tournaments before that. I think Clutch Chess happens just before that. The World Cup is end of October, November. And then we're on to the FIDE World Rapid and Blitz. And thereafter, it is the Candidates Tournament. Lots of exciting chess tournaments coming up. I hope you're enjoying all of them. I hope you're enjoying my coverage of them. And I will see you next time.